WhiskyJason here, whiskey from the viewpoint of an American in Germany. Today I'm in Limburg, the Whisky Fair 2019, together with
Ben Curtis of the Single Cask.
the Single Cask. I must admit my ignorance. I've never heard of you before. 10 minutes ago, a fan of mine came up and showed me the bottles. This is fabulous. I was like, okay, now I'm here, I'm interviewing you. Tell me a little bit about the history, first of all. How did this company come about?
Well, my background is actually a distributor for Glenfarclas and Glengoyne in Southeast Asia.
Right.
So the reason you haven't heard of the Single Cask before is up until about 18 months ago, we were actually only exporting everything to Southeast Asia and other surrounding countries. So basically the Single Cask came really just from the love of finding out that every cask was a little bit different, you know. So the range that we've actually got down here, we try and keep it diverse. We try and experiment a little bit, and we've done a bit of messing around with smaller octave casks, some PX, some Oloroso octave casks, to give some like darker colour. We had a high, an example, if you like, of the Orkney malt here. But we had a bit of demand from markets such as Japan and Taiwan for heavily sherried whiskies. Not so easy to access nowadays. I'm a true believer in never add colouring to your whiskey. Drink it as it comes, so cask strength, natural colour. So to gain that colour quickly, we started messing around with some first fill Oloroso octaves. But to give an example, where are we? Okay, this is 1 year first fill sherry hogshead, 1 year finish after a bourbon cask, compared to 9 months in an octave first fill sherry, just to give an example.
So that was a 23-year-old...
23-year-old Tormore, which was 22-year-old in a bourbon cask and then finished in a sherry. But obviously comparing the colours.
And that's very important for many markets. And apparently for the Asian market in particular, the darker the whiskey, the better they think it must taste.
Perception, yes. I wouldn't say the darker the whiskey, always the better, but yes, it's a visual thing, I think.
That's what they think, the perception, as you said. Now we know it's not always true, that it can sometimes be exactly the opposite. Sometimes there's some amazing surprises out there. Where can I find you online, or where can I find you in real life? Where can I buy these bottles here in Europe?
Okay, we're now in the UK. So I'm actually back in London. That's the reason we're now distributing a bit more in Europe. Obviously with Whisky Messe and in Germany. The different fairs we're trying to expand a bit more, but Belgium, a little bit in Holland, Germany, Malta. Oh, I've disappeared.
Someone
back
kicked
again.
My camera. Sorry.
So basically starting to expand in Europe a little bit. Germany being the strongest market at the moment. Holland a little bit, Belgium, Luxembourg, Malta. To name a few. But
exactly.
We'll see.
And of the different bottlings you have here, which one would you consider the best selling here at the fair, and which one do you like the best?
The Orkney malt.
Germans love Highland whiskey from the island that's not from Scapa Distillery.
Absolutely. Yeah, the clandestine Orkney.
And what's your favorite, if I may ask?
The clandestine Orkney. Well, favourite of the show. I do particularly like Leitchegg. So a Leitchegg 10 that we've actually had there is a very, very good cask. First fill bourbon, an awesome cask there. I'm a bit of if I have to do a particular whiskey style for myself, it would be bourbon heavily peated. That would be my personal preference.
And the bottles are very unique. Is there a special reason that the bottles are square?
You want the truth?
Probably a good place in China to get cheaper bottles.
No, not at all. Our bottles, actually, just to show you the shape, were a large version of this. I then designed a wooden label that had trouble sticking to a round bottle. I didn't want to give up my wooden label, so I got a square bottle. My wooden label stuck. And then the wooden label had a lot of issues as far as you couldn't read it when it was behind the bar, because it was a laser etched 3D wooden label. It looked fantastic, but It wasn't very practical. So then we sort of developed from there. The ticket idea came up only because each cask number is different, each ticket number is different. So the little ticket idea has sort of stuck, and it's gone from there. And the copper logo, obviously, we use a copper still to make our whiskey, so why not have a copper logo? And that's where it's come to from today. So, and people like the square bottle because not many people use a square bottle for whiskey. So
it is unique. It's an eye catcher. Let's just say that. Very good. All right, WhiskyJason here, whiskey from the viewpoint of an American, learning more about whiskey here in Limburg together with
Ben Curtis from the Single Cask.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
You're welcome. Goodbye.